Hello, everybody, and welcome. As I like to do every week, I like to take a look at the past week's market activity, which would now include today because we're a day later than we usually do this, and then kind of bounce around the market and look for something to do. But what we're going to do now is a little different because we're going into earnings season, and we will do a couple of earnings trades down the line, but they're not here yet. So if we look at all the big stocks that you've heard of, I mean, I can go through a million of them, but just to throw out one that obviously everybody's heard of, like there's Microsoft. This over here, this blue dot with this phone, this is earnings. So you can see April 25th, there's earnings. Every big stock, Tesla, same thing. You can see here, Tesla earnings are coming up. Google, etc. You can see. So we don't want to trade before earnings, but now we're stuck because earnings are kind of coming up. We're not going to trade till after earnings. So what we'll do is a couple of these stocks that have earnings the next week or two, we'll trade right after earnings, possibly, or we might make an earnings trade. But for right today, because nothing's happening yet, we're about a couple weeks out from really earnings hitting big time, which limits us. We're going to stay in the indexes, the indices. So real simple, we're just going to go through the three big ones, and whichever one is the most volatile, that's the one we're going to trade. And next week, we may look into, like I said, one of these earnings trades possibly, or a stock that's had earnings at that point we can get into. But for right now, we're kind of stuck into indexes. So if I look at the SPY, we can see right here, volatility is only 8%, so that's obviously pretty low. If I look at IWM, that is at 1.8%, way down here, so that's not really doing us much good. And you can see the volatility's just gotten crushed. And if we go to the Qs, you can see that one's a little higher. In fact, it's the highest, not much, but it's higher, 15. Now, people always ask me because I have rules about greater than 50 IV ranks, buying and selling. So there's an important concept to understand, which is I got to lay out rules. They're best case scenario rules, but the market changes all the time. And there might be whole years where the IV rank, the implied volatility rank, does not go above 50. And obviously that doesn't mean we're not going to trade anything for the entire year. We need to adjust. So what I mean by that is the 50 and above is the perfect world, and that's, a fair amount of time we can get that. But when the whole market goes into this kind of zone where volatility, this is volatility, is getting crushed, there's nothing above 50. So all we do is now we just reset our highs and lows, meaning where before 50 and above might have been high, well, now if every stock is at 10 or 20, maybe 30 is our new high. Or if every stock is at 5 and 10, maybe 20 is our new high. So that's what I mean by adjusting to the markets. The rules are still in place, but we're just going to adjust the rules to fit the marketplace, because if nothing is above 50, we don't stop trading completely. So this is how we make adjustments. And that's why in this case, where I looked at the SPY, which is at 8, and IWM, which is at 2, Q comparatively at 15 is high. So I don't mind doing it in Qs, an Iron Condor selling something, because that's the new high. That's just the market the way it is. I'm adjusting. 1 and 8 is super low, so now 15 is double that. Actually, that's the high IV rank out of the indices or indexes. So we're going to go into the Qs, and the last 2 weeks has basically essentially been sideways, but Iron Condors we play for sideways most of the time anyways. So if we go to the trade page and we go down here, you can see this says 46 days. So tomorrow will be perfect. It'll be 45. I've already set it up for us. So I pulled this up. The stock is around 318, 319 in that neighborhood. So in this case, I'm going roughly $20 up, roughly $20 down, 19 to 20 up and down, creating a $2 wide Iron Condor. And if I can sell that for 66 cents or more, I'm in good shape. Now tomorrow, if things continue and volatility gets even lower, all that's going to mean is we have to bring these numbers in tighter. We're probably going to have to make 299, 300, or 301, and 338 drop down to 337, 336 to collect the same credit. Because as volatility comes out, we collect less credit for these kinds of Iron Condors, which means we have to bring in the sides a little closer. But that is our trade in QQQ for tomorrow until some earnings have passed, or we decide to make some earnings trades in the meantime, and how we've adjusted IV rank based on the new volatility in the market itself. Hello everyone. I thought it might be valuable to let you know of all the courses available on Udemy that I teach, and also kind of what they're about and maybe what order to take them in. So I thought this would be a valuable little quick kind of introduction to all the courses out there. Now for those that are in the middle of a bunch of courses, these three are essentially a set. This is a part 1, 2, 3. So no matter where you are in this course selection, this is the order it should go in. It should start with understand options, then to basic option strategies, and then on to make and manage profitable trades. Just so you are aware. Again, you can see it says part 1, 2, and 3, but not everybody sees that when they buy these courses. So this is good for beginners. This is good for people that want to refresh the knowledge they already have. But essentially, like I mentioned, this is the order you want to go in, from top to bottom. Understand to basic to make and manage. The complete guide to options here is kind of an overview of a bunch of different topics, but not in depth like the three above. So if you want to get a broad introduction to a lot of different kind of option strategy topics, this is a good one to look into. From there, we can go on to the advanced Iron Condor option strategy course. If you already are familiar with Iron Condors and you want to learn 6 different variations of it, this would be a great course for you to take. And for those who have been through the basics, kind of know verticals and Iron Condors and want to get into the advanced kind of option trading arena, I have what I call a secret course collection. These are private courses that you won't find when you search on Udemy. So if you want to find them, you have to type in these addresses right here, and this will give you these courses on the right hand side here, and it'll give you more detail about them. The password to get into these private courses is sharpertrades.com. And again, like I mentioned, these are private courses. So if you search my name on Udemy, you won't see this. This is my secret course collection, and these are all more advanced topics. So if you want to learn more, here's everything you can use to discover more courses on my site. I'm attaching this guide as a link, so you can download this. It'll take you to the courses. There'll be links in the actual document, so you can use that attachment in this little video section to download and click on the links there. It'll take you right to these courses as opposed to having to type these in directly. But if you want to learn more, would love to have you aboard. Thanks for sticking with me and being with me on any one of these journeys. Stick with it. We will get you to where you want to go. Take care.